This is the Transformers from the movie Transformers Rise of the Beasts. We have the Deluxe class Autobot Mirage. This figure is part of the Mainline of the Rise of the Beasts movie line. Let's get this guy out of packaging. And here is the Rise of the Beasts Deluxe class Mainline Mirage. Oh man. Well, I don't completely hate it. I'm not completely in love with it either. But I'm going to tell you this. This figure, I believe, is better than the Mainline Bumblebee figure. There are some things I don't like about it, but there are some things I do like about it. And overall, I think this is a more enjoyable experience than Mainline Bumblebee. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 13.5 centimeters tall, or about 5 1/4 inches tall. And for comparisons, here he is with the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, as well as the Mainline Voyager class Optimus Prime. So the figure has some pretty amazing sculpting right here. He's got some nice metallic blue paint here, some blue highlights, blue plastic pieces here and there. I love the sculpting on this guy. He kind of reminds me of Cogman, if you remember that figure. So yeah, very, very nice. Everywhere you go, there's a lot of sculpting involved. His arms kind of remind me of movie 1 Jazz, which, to be quite honest, I think this character should have been Jazz. But, they've already been, they already have Jazz as a Pontiac Solstice, so they couldn't reuse it, but Mirage is not a bad second choice for this character. He's got a fantastic head sculpt. Look at that, he's wearing I guess that's a battle mask, right? I thought this was a better rendition, a better adaptation of Mirage. Now, he does have this backpack. Now, a lot of collectors and a lot of reviewers are complaining about this one. And me personally, I don't hate it as much. I actually do appreciate the effort that the engineers have put in compressing the car bits into a backpack. I just wish there was a way to have compressed it just a little bit more, to just fold it a little bit more so it doesn't look like he's got a high school backpack or a grade school second grade backpack hanging on his back. These figures are already selling at almost the same price point as Studio Series figures, if not more expensive actually. Here in Manila, they're definitely more expensive than Studio Series. I think they could have put a little bit extra effort on that, but that's okay. It's not such a deal breaker for me. One annoying bit really are these wheels right here. This is the official transformation, but I think they're best folded up this way, so that it's a little bit more streamlined, you don't see the wheels, and it's not as annoying. But still, sticking out, I wish there was a way they could have folded this somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, that's actually more annoying to me than the backpack, okay? Plastic quality, no complaints. It could be a shock to you guys that I'm not complaining about plastic quality, but really, really solid plastic they use on this one. None of that Cyberverse Warrior class cheap plastic. Very acceptable, very solid plastic. And I do love the marbling. I love the pearlesque type of gray that they used for this one. Even the bits, the dark gray bits right here, the sort of metallic blue plastic they used, it doesn't look cheap. It kind of even gives it more of a premium feel to it to a certain extent. I don't like the all-spark blue paint treatment right there, but what can you do? I do love the metallic paint highlights that they've put on this figure. We'll see more of that in the car mode. Now, let me talk about this gun first before we go to articulation. Instructions tell you to put it on the right arm, and yeah, okay, it fits okay. But I think, this is just me, I think it fits better on the left arm. And on the left arm, you can actually swing that hinge on the wrist because of transformation, but you can actually swing it, and if you put it on the left arm, it feels like the gun just morphed out of his forearm, and I think that's a better fit, but again, that's just me. Okay, articulation for the figure, he has it's ball joint on the neck, swivel waist because of transformation. He's got a ball joint shoulder, but because of transformation, there are a couple hinges right here which will allow you to move the arms down or up. That's pretty cool. You got a bicep swivel, hinge elbow, hinge wrists. And I do love this hinge, which gives you a little bit more of dynamic poses for the arm, but that's mainly because of transformation. You got a ball jointed hip, and on my copy of the figure, the slightest bit of articulation, you try to put him in poses, the joints do love to pop off. It's an easy fix with some clear nail polish, I suppose, but you know, if you don't move him around too much, he's fine. You got a thigh swivel right here, but the molding really hinders a little bit more articulation on that thigh swivel, much like what we've seen with Pseudo Series Blur. You got a ratcheting hinge knee, and that's about it. No feet articulation. Okay, to transform him, the dreaded transformation. So let's begin with the legs. So fold these bits out, fold these pieces out, fold the feet up like this, fold them all the way up like this, and then fold the feet like that, like this, and like that. Now at this point, you might want to just rotate this waist piece 180 degrees because it'll be very difficult. Well, it'll be a little bit more tedious to do so once you've transformed the legs. Okay, and these bits right here, again, like I said, be very careful. They're on friction joints. They love to pop off, at least on my copy of the figure. Okay, and then a little bit tricky right here. You gotta pop in that the spoiler onto the fender. So just be patient with it. It will pop in, okay? And then finally, you can combine both halves of the car, rear end of the car, or the legs, and you've got yourself the rear end of the Porsche. Okay, Porsche. All right, now I guess we could do the backpack. Open up these panels right here. I'll open them up all the way because instructions tell you to just fold them up this way, and there's a little bit of a clearance issue. So at first I was like, it's scraping these bits right here. So go ahead and just unfold it all the way because you're going to end up doing that anyway when you transform it into car mode. So fold it up like this, and this bit right here is going to fold up like that. This piece also loves to pop off, much like the bumper piece. Even these bits right here, the wheels, they love popping off, but yeah, what can you do? So fold the joint up like that, and it's just going to stay right there for the time being. Okay, let's do the arms. Okay, the arms, I'm going to fold the fists inward. I'm going to fold the forearms this way. Then you're going to tab those unsightly kibble wheels. And then you're going to fold the arms this way. And then you're going to collapse those shoulders with those double hinge joints right there. Just collapse them underneath his armpits. You can fold the, I guess you could rotate the head just so you don't see it underneath the car, but you don't have to. Okay, and that's about, well, you're almost done. One final step, and you can right about see what that final step is. And the question really is, I want to ask which design engineer from Hasbro and Takara thought that this was going to be fun. You have a huge car bit right here that you're going to slam onto the lower part of the car. Who decided that this was going to be fun? I mean, seriously, you can see right here, right now, just looking at it gives me a headache. And when you do it, it's going to give you an even bigger headache because okay, let's just do it. So you're going to fold it down like this and just try to bring it as close as possible so you don't snap anything out. Okay, and then these bits right here, you want to just squeeze them in between. Oh, man, I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. It's happened 3 times in the past. Why wouldn't it happen during filming? Okay, so, okay. Just do your best not to make it pop out by pushing, folding, and okay, there we go. Why couldn't you have done that? You made me look bad. Okay, so fold these all the way down. And finally, these bits right here, you're gonna collapse, and you're just gonna tab in, and it can be very satisfying. I kid you not. I'm not being sarcastic or anything. He will roll. He will clear the ground by a millimeter, by a micron. This chest piece right here, he does kind of clear the floor. So yeah, it's a pretty decent looking alt mode. Is it accurate to the movie? Yeah, it's good enough. I mean, the gun, actually the instructions tell you to do it this way. I thought this was pretty lame. Honestly, they could have found a way to squeeze it between the legs, or, you know, just put it somewhere here, but yeah. So instructions tell you to do it this way. I think it's better if you just put it on the other hole. It hides it better. Let me see some size comparison. Look at that with Studio Series Hot Rod. Incidentally, the plastic on this one, way better than the plastic quality on this one. And so some final thoughts on this Rise of the Beasts Deluxe Class Mirage. You know, the figure isn't horrible. And sure, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. I actually enjoyed this figure more than the mainline Deluxe Class Bumblebee. That thing is still horrible in my opinion, but this one, not entirely horrible. And despite hearing a lot of complaints about this figure, the figure doesn't bug me as much. Sure, you could use a few more, you know, tweaking here and there in terms of articulation, getting rid of that kibble, maybe more paint apps, maybe finding a better way to transform that whole top part of the car into the car mode. But after all that's been said and done about this figure, I think it's a pretty good, pretty decent mainline Mirage figure. Though the transformation can be dreadful at times, I thought it was more enjoyable than the other mainline figures like Bumblebee. The figure is gonna get an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this Transformers Rise of the Beasts Deluxe Class Mirage. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.